Seiun Sky, the glass cannon. The meta-defining unit that marks the beginning of the frontrunner era. She's very strong as a parent, and she's decently strong as an ace, but to pull or not to pull, that's the question everybody is asking right now. You guys know me as the one-trick Vivlas in JP, but before that, I'm actually a one-trick Seiun Sky player in the Taiwanese server. Even though I was free to play, I would still say that I was pretty good at her. I take her to every single champions meeting, and in this video, I will be sharing my own thoughts and my experience with how the meta completely shifted upon Seiun Sky's release, and I'm also going to go over what you can expect in your future PvP matches after Seiun Sky is released. Charles, you said that you were a Seiun Sky one-trick. How dare you put Maruzensky on your team? I see you, you meta slave. How dare you? Why yes, you caught me. That's how frontrunners are supposed to work. You either bring 2 of them, or you bring none of them. I'm going to be explaining this exclusive frontrunner mechanic in just a moment. We are going to take a look at her kit and dive into why Seiun Sky is so strong and so meta-defining. So just exactly how strong is Seiun Sky's unique skill? When people talk about Seiun Sky, the first thing that they talk about is angling and scheming. People praise this unique skill, they call it really strong, they claim this to be second coming of Jesus or something. I think it's better if I just let you see. So we're going down the final corner. This is at Niigata 1800 meters, mile race. So in this course, Seiun Sky's unique skill will not activate. This is a late surger Rhinecraft, and these two Umas have pretty much the same skills. And right now, they seem to be like moving at a similar pace, right? Rhinecraft is a late surger, so she's gradually catching up. They're just exchanging blows, they're exchanging speed skills, and they run down the home stretch, and it's actually very close. That's Seiun Sky without her unique skill. Her unique skill did not proc because the start of the late game was on a straight instead of a corner. So now we are on to the Tokyo 1600 meters. Rhinecraft does not have that many acceleration skills here, but Seiun Sky has her unique skill. Let's take a look at what happens. All right, we're heading down the final corner, and Seiun Sky is at first place. She's about to touch a corner, and she's going to go off now. She activates her unique skill, angling and scheming. She procs a little bit of speed skills, but that doesn't matter. The point is, she's gone. She's out of there. This is Seiun Sky. Burn this into your eyes. This is how Seiun Sky plays. And this is why I love Seiun Sky so much. 8 links. 8 links of a lead, and that is all because of Seiun Sky's unique skill. Now that I've shown you what Seiun Sky is capable of, let's actually dive into Seiun Sky's kit. She's a frontrunner with a stat bonus of 10% stamina and 20% weight. This stat bonus is a very, I would say, decent bonus for frontrunners, as like she has Kikasho and also Tenosho Spring in her career. So 10% stamina makes it so it's a little bit more comfy to increase her stamina, to cross those stamina objectives. And for 20% weight, even though this is not speed, this is not power, this is still a decent bonus because she is a frontrunner. We're going to talk about frontrunner mechanics later on, but right now, we're just going to recognize that she is always going to be ran as a frontrunner, and her main distances is long, medium, and mile. But to be honest, she doesn't perform as well on long. Her ult does perform well on long, but right now, Seiun Sky's OG form actually performs decently well on mile and medium. As for sprint and dirt races, I have made it work. I take Seiun Sky to everywhere, remember? On some sprint races and on dirt races, she does perform pretty decently. Obviously, there's like dirt G, the G altitude, and the short altitude is really hard to increase, right? But I'm a Seiun Sky player, and so I pretty much just take her to everywhere in every single champions meeting, and I not saying that she's super strong in them, but you can get decent results from it. Now I really want to dedicate like a segment onto talking about Seiun Sky like as an ace. A lot of people sleep on Seiun Sky as an ace. It's very lore accurate because a lot of people think Seiun Sky is not strong. I watched season 1 and immediately I just noticed this seemingly lazy but secretly a grinder type of character. Oh my gosh, she's so me, you know? I just see myself in her. People don't take you seriously until you show it to them that it's possible and that you win. Seiun Sky's unique skill, Angling and Scheming, is an acceleration skill when in the lead on a corner late race. If she or if somebody inherited Angling and Scheming ever so touches the late race, whether it's third corner, first corner, second corner, don't care, doesn't matter, as long as it's in the late race. So an example of that would be Tokyo 2000 meters turf. This is like right in the middle of the fourth corner. If Seiun Sky or a holder of Angling Scheming touches this point in the late race and she is in first place, so order equals to 1, she is in the first place, you cannot be second place, you cannot be third place, you can only be first place. If all 3 of these conditions are met, you will proc Angling and Scheming and you will get increased acceleration. Seiun Sky herself will get a 0.4 for base duration of 4 seconds. When inherited, other Umas will get increased acceleration by 0.2 for a base duration of 2.4 seconds. Note that other Umas have to pass a wit check, so there is a chance that you fail to activate the skill even you're on P1. The problem for a lot of people is pretty much just deciding on whether or not to drop on Seiun Sky before dropping on Summer Maruzensky. A lot of people want to get Summer Maruzensky because Summer Maruzensky is a strong Uma that performs well in the Future Champions meetings, but the general idea, a lot of guides are just suggesting you to pull for Summer Maruzensky as like a strong ace in terms of like meta, right? But for Seiun Sky, the general consensus is that you skip Seiun Sky because you don't have enough pulls for Summer Maruzensky. Which one do I think is more important? Seiun Sky is going to be released on like September 7th or September 8th, depending on where you are. We all know that all support card banners are literally just through. They're terrible and we do not care about them. And right now we're just deciding on whether or not we have enough carats to pull for Summer Maruzensky after Seiun Sky. If you didn't pull on Super Creek banner, which I'm assuming that a lot of people didn't, it's a very difficult and very risky to drop pulls on Super Creek banner, you will probably have around 30k carats at the Seiun Sky banner. During this time, the number of carats that you are going to get, it should be around like 12,000. It should be around that number if you factor in like Cancer Cup results and also Gemini Cup results. I remember it was like 6k throughout all the events in the middle and all the daily missions and whatnot, and then another 6k if you actually try in like the Gemini Cup and also the Cancer Cup. You can realistically expect yourself to get an extra 10k to 12k carats from Seiun Sky to like Summer Maruzensky. Considering the fact that in Uma Musume you need MLB for support cards, that you're pulling like the majority of support cards you want MLB, but like for characters all you need is 1 copy. You can get lucky and hit either of these 2 early. So that is going to be the idea we're going to play around. And if you right now have more than 18k carats, you can drop any excess carats into Seiun Sky banner. So for example, if I have like 19.5k, I can drop 10 pulls on Seiun Sky banner. I would say that's the play for Seiun Sky, because at most you lose like what? So you drop like 50, 60 pulls or something. You don't really need to all in on Seiun Sky, but you can just try your luck. And if you hit 18k, stop. Just pause, do not pull anymore, because that's all the carats you have, and you will still have 30k when you go up to like the Summer Maruzensky banner. This way, you can 200 pull, 100% guarantee Summer Maruzensky banner. Personally, I am actually going to all in on Seiun Sky banner until I get her, because Seiun Sky is my waifu, is my, well, with Bibulus, she's now in second, but honestly, they're tied for first. Her story is one of the best stories in the entire game, I think. I mean, I'm super biased, but what can I say, right? In conclusion, pull for Seiun Sky if you like her. If she's your Oshi, I'm 100% going to be pulling for her. Or if you have more than 18k carats right now and you feel like it's optional and you do not need to pull, there is still a rerun, which comes literally like 11 months later. But that's besides the point. The point is, some of you want Maruzensky right now and Seiun Sky is in the way. So you can pull for Summer Maruzensky as long as you have like 18k carats right now, you will be safe. Yes, I factored in acceleration and whatnot, so this should be the correct number still. Another reason for you to actually just all in Seiun Sky is if you believe that you're going to play a lot of frontrunner, or if you just believe that you're lucky and you can just hit both of them early, or if you are a whale, obviously. These 2 characters, I would say especially Seiun Sky, is super good and adds a lot of value to the account. Summer Maruzensky becomes weaker the moment Mihono Bourbon Valentine alt releases. And Summer Maruzensky outright just dies on the spot. A year later, so for global it's probably like 8 months, right? So Summer Maruzensky dies right here. He is outright power crept by Summer Maruzensky support card. Yeah, I know it sounds dumb. Yes, I know. EYE, bro. Like, Summer Maruzensky support card is usable at 1 LB onwards, and so this is going to be a super good frontrunner support card, and you will want to pull for this one. Honestly, she's just a good all-rounder speed support. And so just remember, Summer Maruzensky's expiration date is around like, I think it was 8 months or 10 months in global. But for Seiun Sky is still going strong in the current day JP. She is still used, not every single Champions meeting, but almost every single Champions meeting that involves a corner in the late game. So she's super relevant and you will use her a lot. You will see her a lot. You won't see her as an ace that much, but you will see her a lot. I would say that Seiun Sky is a really, really good investment. And another point that I want to add on to this is like, if you are a person that enjoys Uma Musume, that I am assuming that the people that watch my channel right now and watch this point, you guys are CM chatters, you guys are grinders, you guys are good at the game, you guys want to be good at the game, you guys want to learn. Therefore, you guys play more than 3 games a day. 3 borrows do not satisfy you guys. In this case, I totally recommend pulling on Seiun Sky and hope for the best on Summer Maruzensky. Because Seiun Sky is something that she's just going to accompany you a lot. And if you really want to get good, if you really want to grind out the perfect sparks, she will be a must pull. But I assume that since you have watched all the way here, you are already planning to do that. And so the words I'm just saying was just a word of affirmation, I guess. I know you guys. I know that mentality, bro. I know that mentality. Just go crazy. Pull or not pull, it's your choice. Personally, I'm going to pull again. And that's going to be it for the should I pull for Seiun Sky part. The effect of this unique skill is very obvious. It's an acceleration skill that activates instantly in the late race on some courses. And by some courses, like how many courses do I exactly mean? How do I know that it isn't like just 2 specific courses that Seiun Sky's unique can proc? How do I know if it's usable everywhere? The Seiun Sky's unique skill, because it's on a corner, we can just search for courses by parameters. And so if we search for like last spurt, so late game starts on a corner, we are going to find 91 courses that fits this requirement. If we go search up last spurt that starts on a straight, we are actually going to get 30 results. Angling and scheming is literally going to work on 75% of the courses. That is insane. But wait, that's not all. Because right now, the number that I just threw out, 75%, is actually just for team trials. Because when we actually talk about Champions meeting, where PvP actually happens and like people actually make meaningful aces, if you would kindly just take a look at the Champions meeting history, she releases right before Gemini Cup, I can actually count how many courses angling and scheming doesn't work on. Because majority of the courses, angling and scheming does work. For Cancer Cup it works, Leo Cup it works, Virgil Cup it works, Libra actually is a delayed activation, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Frontrunners are still viable on this course. Scorpio Cup works. Sagittarius, yes, it's a slightly delayed course, but it still works. Capricorn, Seiun Sky's unique will not work. The late game literally starts on the home stretch, so in this case, Seiun Sky's unique will not work out here. This is 1. Other courses are just delayed. I guess like the worst one would probably be like Kyoto 3000. So on Kikasho, she's going to have a delayed activation. So it's just Libra, so Kyoto 3000, or Capricorn, which is Chukyo 1200. This Hanshin 3200 meters, it will not work for Seiun Sky. But it's just Pisces and Capricorn, which Seiun Sky will struggle a bit. Every other course, you will want angling and scheming on your ace if you're running a frontrunner or pace chaser. So if we just scroll down, Taurus, Aries, Tokyo 1600, Hanshin 22, Nakayama 1200, Oi, Hanshin, Kyoto. Every single one of these courses, following like almost all of them, Seiun Sky's unique skill will actually work there. She's super relevant, and you are going to see her a lot. Oh my god, Charles Victoria Frontier is doom posting again. Doesn't that mean Seiun Sky is a must pull. I'm a free to play. I'm just gonna get farmed by the whales. It's over. I can't play the game. It's not that bad. Seiun Sky's unique skill might be strong, but if you recall the conditions of Seiun Sky's unique skill, there's one condition. You have to be on first place. It's a reverse let's pump some iron. There's actually a different way to understand this unique skill. So angling and scheming only works for whoever touches the corner in the late race. So the first corner that you come in contact with in the late race, or one Uma in every race. So that Uma will be whoever comes into contact with a corner first in the late game, and she gets to proc her unique skill. That's what we call she gets the rod. Because Seiun Sky's unique skill, in case you didn't know, is just Seiun Sky fishing. So when you're fighting for the first place position, you're essentially fighting for the rod. We don't call it angling and scheming because it's like way too long. So for all frontrunners from Seiun Sky's release onwards, their objective or like their win condition in all their races is going to be buying angling and scheming and then building like decent build. And finally, they have to fight other frontrunners for that first place position. Whoever gets P1 gets to have the rod, and that Uma gets to win. However, for all the other frontrunners that failed to get the rod and is now in like second to third to fourth to fifth place, whatever, all those frontrunners, because they have like less acceleration, assuming that we are in like a controlled environment where everybody else fits like max speed, enough stamina, and then distance S, right? This sounds intimidating on its own, but you always have to remember that all the other frontrunners that now lost the fight for rod and probably have like less acceleration is free food for you if you are playing like late surger or end closer, because they are just stepping stones for you to proc let's pump some iron. On any course that Seiun Sky's unique angling and scheming works, let's pump some iron will also be a viable acceleration. These two tie hand in hand together. They are not directly related, but when one is good, the other should also be good. If you don't want to play frontrunner, that is still fine. Late surgers or end closers are usually going to be like usable or available in most courses. With the introduction of Seiun Sky, frontrunners get access to one very consistent acceleration that requires you to be in the front. For late surgers or end closers, they usually have an abundance of gambling skills. For example, straightaway spurt, there's also updrafters, there is slick surge, and also let's pump some iron, right? So basically, angling and scheming only levels the playing field for frontrunners to like late surgers or end closers. If you proc more acceleration skills as a late surger or end closer, you will still have like a pretty decent chance to win. However, when Seiun Sky herself gets the rod, do keep in mind that it's basically wraps, but Seiun Sky herself actually doesn't get rod that often. And Seiun Sky herself, I'll explain this in just a moment. Right now, let's take a look at her other innate skills. There's hesitant pace chasers, and there's actually also subdued late surgers. So for her innate skills, there is hesitant pace chasers. It's basically a reference to in real life where Special Week in King Halo were always on her ass. This is not really a skill that you will usually buy on Seiun Sky, but unless you're running her as like a pacer debuffer, but more on that later. Keeping the lead and Vanguard Spirit, a G tier, dog shit ass, trash, useless, zero use skill. Please never buy this. I have never in my life bought this skill, even when I'm running long, even when I'm basically doing anything on Seiun Sky. I have never ever bought this skill. Vanguard Spirit, waste of skill points. Just pretend this skill doesn't exist, alright? Fast paced and Escape Artist, her T5 gold skill. So this skill requires you to be in first to fifth place, anywhere random on the middle game, and you have to be a frontrunner. This skill has a base duration of 3 seconds, a very generous 3 seconds, and gives you a target speed of 0.35, or for the white skill, it's 0.15. This is a super good skill. Fast-paced, I do want to talk about it. You actually get the hint for fast-paced if you complete the Triple Crown. So if you win the Triple Crown, Satsuki-sho, Tokyo Yushun, Hikasho, you will actually get the fast-paced hint level 2, and this will basically just decrease the cost for fast-paced, right? Usually when I'm on Seiun Sky, I try to do it, but yeah, sometimes you do lose. Side note, even if you use like late surger on Hikasho, in case you don't have enough stamina, even if you run late surger, you will still be able to get the skill. But for her special epithet, which is like Trickster. Trickster requires her to run front runner in all of her races that she participates in. And the second requirement is also to be in the front for the entirety of the Kikai show. During the Kikai show, you cannot fall below P2, and you're literally just leading the front for the entire race. For her awakening skills, there is Front Runner Savvy. This is just a very generic basic green skill. Increases wit stat by 40, increases field of view by 5. If you buy this skill, it's not really for the stats. It's mainly to use as a groundwork trigger, you know, because to activate groundwork, you need to proc 3 skills immediately when you leave the game. And so this is going to be a decent groundwork trigger. As for her awakening skill level 4, she actually has Tail Held High, which is just really, really strong because this is a trigger skill that activates in conjunction with the other skills that you may proc in the middle game. The way you can actually use Tail Held High, assuming that you pass all the wit checks. So when you enter the first corner, since Professor of Curvature and corner skills, so like front runner corners or at distance corners, will all proc on the first corner, you can actually just stack like a Swinging Maestro, Professor of Curvature, and then one more corner skill or 2 corner skills, and you will just instantly proc Tail Held High when you're going into like the first corner in the early game. Maintaining the first place position is really important for front runners. You will ideally want to stack as many middle game skills. You might be surprised from like the amount of skills she can get from like her events, but in reality, it's mostly this. The main focus is probably going to be front runner straightaways. These skills that you can acquire from events is actually from an event that occurs in Seiun Sky's story. So in her campaign, let me just look for it. Near the end of her campaign, there is going to be this event. She actually, like in the story, she regains her motivation to race. And so when this event occurs, like I think it was around like November or October in the 3rd year, it will check for which training facility has the highest level, and also, well, ties are decided at random. And so if your speed facility is at level 5, you are going to get front runner straightaways. Increase target speed by 0.15 or 0.25 if you double circle it on any random straight. I would say that this is an insanely good skill that you can acquire from Seiun Sky's career consistently. There's also like Shake It Out or Highlander or like Hesitant Late Surgers. These skills, you don't really want them. So one thing to keep in mind when you're playing Seiun Sky's career is just to not overstep on wit or like stamina training, because you will get these terrible skills. Steadfast, Shake It Out, and Hesitant Late Surgers are not really that crazy of skills. Highlander is worth talking about a little bit, but right now Highlander procs immediately upon touching any corner. So like if you are touching a slope, it will proc. If I recall correctly, this skill is actually a wanted skill on Kyoto 3000 meters, but in reality, you really won't have your power training at a higher level than speed training. Oh, and one more thing. This event kind of gets screwed over in the Aoharu High, so like the second scenario. The training facility levels are actually just more evenly increased. So you would notice that whenever you pass like a checkpoint, you are going to increase a bunch of levels across all of your training facilities. And in that case, sometimes it ends in like a speed with stamina tie or something. You will need to gamble for front runner straightaways. But yeah, there's that. Otherwise, that's all for her skills right now. Her race rotation is quite on the long side. So you really have to pay attention to your stamina, and you cannot run speed with that crazy on her. If you're failing to get past the objectives, just run Late Surger, remember guys. So that's going to be all for Seiun Sky's kit. Now I'm going to move on to talking about whether you should be pulling her or not, because I'm sure that's something that you guys have been wondering. She sounds really strong on paper, but does that mean you really need her in your account? I'm also going to talk about how her kit interacts with like the general meta. Some people, for example me, will no like the shit out of Seiun Sky because she's really cute. You cannot deny it. Look at her. You cannot tell me that she's not cute. I'm seeing a lot of people doing posts about Seiun Sky not being a strong frontrunner in terms of like herself being an ace, and I have something to say about that. Seiun Sky with her own angling and scheming, her unique skill. You've seen the clip just now, and she will just fly. She just shoots straight out. Every other Uma in the lobby, if other frontrunners, for example, some Maruzensky, Mihona Bourbon, if they take P1, it's still possible for late surgers or end closes to hit a chain of accelerations and just catch up. It's a very common occurrence. However, if it's for Seiun Sky herself, nobody catches up to you. Like that dopamine hit, bro. I swear to God, that's why I play Seiun Sky. It just feels so goddamn good. People shit on her kit. She is not good to fight for P1. You guys do not know how much Seiun Sky can win if you just try a little bit harder. You can just inherit Summer Maruzensky unique. You can inherit maybe Mihona Bourbon unique when she comes out. Smart Falcon unique cannot be inherited because of like her shit aptitude. Plus, it's a 0.05 effect. It basically is just bad. As long as you stack enough middle game skills and you successfully defend against that Summer Maruzensky push up. Summer Maruzensky's unique skill procs at like around 50%. You just need to have like enough distance to hold off that 0.5 seconds of 0.35. So as long as you hold that off with a unique of your own, firstly, you need that. And then hope you get lucky and spam straight skills like frontrunner straights and distance straights. And also you can bring like playtimes over. As long as you get those skills and you successfully defend against Summer Maruzensky, you are him or her. You're that person, bro. Seiun Sky is extremely strong as an ace. Summer Maruzensky feels easier to play. You can get so much further with like Seiun Sky because she already has like escape artist, right? She has her unique skill. So just remember, as long as you have distance S, with angling and scheming, you don't need to proc a single endgame skill, and you should still be able to just take the win because of 0.4 acceleration. Don't run out of stamina, don't cheap out on speed, and you pretty much just win. Because you're in P1, and Seiun Sky already has a distance lead over other runners. And so Seiun Sky should be able to hold off that position. And yeah, it's just really, really fun to play. By the way, one thing that I think is missing here, Seiun Sky should have another skill, Leader's Pride. If you win the Triple Crown, it's part of the rewards when you win like Kikasho. Leader's Pride is good. If somebody's on your ass, then you just defend against that attack. Angling and Scheming is her acceleration skill. And then Escape Artist is her must-buy middle game skill. You 100% want to buy this. With these two skills, it's pretty much just a reverse Maruzensky, right? Maruzensky has a Kiss for Courage, and then she has a speed unique, but then she doesn't have an acceleration unique, so she has to inherit Seiun Sky. Summer Maruzensky has to buy another like 180 something skill points, or like 140 skill points at least to get Seiun Sky unique. And then she also has to buy at least one recovery skill because she needs to proc a recovery skill to proc her unique skill. That alone is like 300 skill points that you can assume that Maruzensky is going to need. You yourself can stack up on other middle game skills and you will be able to roughly fight on the same level as Summer Maruzensky. It's just that being overtaken at the 50% mark is just your biggest weakness. You have a little bit of a harder time to hold like P1 because Summer Maruzensky unique skill is so consistent, right? It's honestly not that big of a gap. If you put two frontrunners with the exact same wit, speed, and then power, exact same stats, exact same skills, depending on like the randomness of the game, it's more of like 70-30 split in favor of Summer Maruzensky in terms of holding P1. If it's just a 1v1, it's in Summer Maruzensky's favor. But then if you just try a little bit harder and just race a little bit more, get a little bit more wit, and like find a way to get enough middle game skills, you can go really, really far with Seiun Sky. Your only objective is literally just to hit P1 whenever you touch late race corner. After that, you don't care. You just let your raw speed and distance aptitude S win you the race. Remember when I talked about how frontrunners require two frontrunners for them to work? I don't have a clip right now, but essentially, frontrunners will require another frontrunner that is on like a similar caliber of the first frontrunner. They are going to encourage each other to push forward, and one is going to catch up to the other, and then the first one is going to notice that the other one is catching up, and then they will enter like speed up mode, and the first one will just move forward. The one behind is going to catch up again because there's a lead. Now they close the gap. One in the front is going to activate speed up again because they don't want to be overtaken, and so they speed up. This mechanic lasts for the first 40% of the race before the PDM deactivates. PDM does not exist for frontrunners, and so this is essentially the way you want to play your frontrunners. For Seiun Sky, you will have a little bit harder time to maintain your spot after the 50% mark, so just try to get lucky and maybe buy like playtimes over to hold that position. Always remember that if you want to play frontrunner, you will want to put 2 aces. You will never put single aces. So yeah, that's about it. I wish you guys good luck on your Seiun Sky pulls. Thank you for watching to this point. Right now, it's the start of my college. I'm not sure if I can keep up with the upload schedule. I'm getting busy. Still look forward to my videos or like CM guides. I'm going to gradually shift more towards like the Yap sessions because I actually feel like I enjoy this type of content more. I enjoy explaining things. And so yeah, if you want more of like this type of Yap content or just long form videos, I guess, do let me know in the comment section because I really want to know you guys' opinions and if you want me to like do more. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't, join the Victoria Frontier Discord.